Hello dear tea friends from around the world, and welcome to a new video with me, Stéphane Erler, from the Tea Masters blog and the Tea Masters boutique. And for today I'm not calling it really a tea class. I hope that you are still going to learn something, but since a lot of things have happened since the end of June, since before the summer vacation, I also wanted to give you some update on some news, some important news on the website, and also on the shipping, and maybe also my latest products and my latest teas. So this might not be exactly a tea class, but if you are interested in my products, my selection, and how to order tea from Taiwan, you might find this video actually quite interesting. So maybe let's first start with deliveries, because deliveries have been a major issue in recent months. Since the COVID hit, there are many countries that have stopped accepting packages from Taiwan. Now some are getting back to accepting them again, and I wanted to give you this, actually the list I'm looking at almost every day on the Taiwanese web server of the post office, and it tells us that right now there are just 36 countries in the world where I can ship from Taiwan. None in Africa, none in South America, and none in Central America either. Luckily, USA, Canada is okay. In the Pacific we have Australia and New Zealand, and in Asia we have actually many countries like China, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Hong Kong, Macau, the Philippines, India, and Turkey. These are the major ones. And for Europe, the countries where it's possible to ship are France, Netherlands, Germany, Belgium, Switzerland, Sweden, the Czech Republic, Poland, Denmark, Norway, Italy, Spain, England, Russia, Austria, and the Slovak Republic. For some, maybe not all the services are available. Sometimes it's only airmail or only EMS, only small packages. So there might be some restrictions, but at least to these countries it is possible to make shipments with the regular post office, because with the DHL or FedEx the shipping costs are really way too expensive. And I must say actually that shipping costs have risen for most of these countries, because if you are aware of one, there are with the COVID there are fewer planes with passengers, and therefore this has increased shipping costs for most shipping companies. The price of gas is also going back up now, and so there are really major increase of costs in the shipping, and this led me to increase the price on for the American side, especially on EMS. If you order below $200, but I'm continuing to make my shipping free above 100 US dollars, and 200 for EMS. So this is the first news. It's getting a bit better, but with some COVID maybe coming back in fall, maybe some restrictions will be put on again, and if you want to make an order before the end of the year, you might consider this, that restrictions might be imposed again, and you make your orders a bit early. Okay, otherwise we have some interesting new products since last June. I wanted to show you, and maybe we can start with this chicken cup. Uh, it's a reproduction from the very famous chicken cup that was first made in the Ming Dynasty under Changhua, and so the symbolism for the chicken is and the chicken family is is a symbolism for family bliss, and it was one of the very first cups with lots of colors, lots of different colors, and this also adds a sense of happiness that other cups did not have before. And this reproduction is pretty well made, and I'm even going to use it today. I've also added several Qinghua porcelain. One is this Gaiwan. Actually, it's the very last Qinghua Gaiwan from this maker in Taiwan, and so what is also interesting is that it's hand painted. So this adds a more personal touch to know that it's hand painted. Instead of being right now they are using a finished paint and then they just copying it on the porcelain, but this is still the more traditional way of making Qinghua porcelain by painting it by hand. And this is actually the reason why this kind of Gaiwan from Taiwan, this Qinghua, is now going kind of extinct, because the costs of painting has gone up since the last 20 years, since this was first made, and also because it was already more expensive than a plain Gaiwan, the sales were not so brisk, and the people had to be let go, and therefore now we don't have the skills in Taiwan anymore to make similar Gaiwans, at least at this price level, maybe at a much higher price levels now, right now. So I've used this opportunity, since these are now the usually people introduce the newest products. Actually here I'm introducing the product just before it's going to get sold out. So we also have this Lotus Qinghua that you can see also on the website. I've put and also a multicolor lotus flower teapot. These are average sizes, and we have also one with shanshui, a landscape, a beautiful landscape. If you feel like traveling in your mind, in your thoughts, this is also a good possibility. And this landscape teapot also exists in a very large size, which can be useful for larger gatherings, or in the morning if you don't want to make gong fu cha. This very large teapot can also do the trick, and it's quite elegant with this Qinghua landscape and these lots of birds in the sky. Quite nice. And yeah, that's it. And of course, one of the items that I really like to put under these accessories is chabu, and I've made 3 new ones that I've added recently here. A flower, purple flower chabu, and another chabu, and I can tell you something I don't mention on actually it's upside down, something I don't mention on the website. Actually, they are made by my wife, who is helping with the sewing and with choosing and assembling the patterns. So she's quite gifted and helping me on this side. So I thank her very much for her creativity, and I hope that you are enjoying having chabu under your porcelain, it helps to protect, it helps that to make it more silent, that it does not make too much noise, and it also there's an additional layer in between, so it will also absorb some of the water drops or tea drops that fall down when you prepare your tea. And each chabu with its different pattern will also add a sense of beauty and a particular atmosphere depending on the colors, and make your each tea a bit different. Okay, and okay, last but not least, I have 3 new teas I also wanted to tell you about. Maybe the most recent one I just received is this one. It's my summer 2021 Oriental Beauty from Sinju, the tradition. And I must say this year it is really we're lucky. I was reporting we had a very tough drought in Taiwan in this spring. Water reservoirs were very low. Even water rationing had to be put in place in the central part of Taiwan. So water supplies were very short, and the weather was completely dry, which is actually very unusual, because in the months of May, June, in Chinese it's called Meiyu season, the plum rain season. Why plum rain? Because the raindrops are so large that they look like plums. And but this year this rainy season came much later, actually only after the harvest of Oriental Beauty, and therefore it was really very dry when the farmers harvested Oriental Beauty, and this dryness has helped to increase the fragrances. Also, the drier the leaves are when you pick them up, the less work you have to turn them into dry leaves, because they are not the moisture content is very low, and therefore it requires less processing, and especially less drying or less roasting. So this makes the fragrances this year really particularly bright, and it's really a good year, as one would say, for wine, also for tea. Some years are better than others, and for Oriental Beauty this is really the case, because it's a tea that is not so afraid of warmth, because it's a high oxidation, so a bit unlike high mountain oolongs, where the results were a bit mixed. But for Oriental Beauty, really, it was only a benefit for this year to be so warm and to be so dry. So, and it's at $10 for 25 grams. It's really a bargain. I really wholeheartedly recommend it. Another tea I found this year is Dunding Competition Oolong. Actually, it's a leftover from the competition. The farmers are a bit limited to how much tea they can present. Usually they prepare more, and the excess then they can sell by saying, okay, you see, it's the same as the competition one, and they can still sell this tea for the same price, or sometimes a bit less than the competition price. Okay, you see there are no stems. It's very similar roast, strong roast for the competition, and the farmer here, he has his farms and plantations mostly in Shaninshi, And what is interesting is that less than 10 years ago he won this Dunding competition with the first prize. So he's really very good at roasting. I tried several of his oolongs that were roasted. I thought that this one is the one that I liked most, and that was closest to what I was looking for also in terms of roast. That is not too strong. I don't like it when it's burnt. And the good news is that compared to the other similar Hongshou Oolong from Shaninshi, this one is cheaper, $11 instead of the other one is 15. The other one is still very, very good, but it was given to somebody else for roasting who charged for his skill, whereas the advantage with this guy is that he's doing his roast himself, and probably that's why it could be much, I think, much cheaper, and therefore I think it's again a very, very good bargain for this spring's Dongding Oolong competition. And it's Qingxing Oolong, so it's really the highest quality possible in Taiwan. If you are not picking the competition winners, of course. Let me put it back. And we have one last tea that I wanted to say a few words. Also, it's the Shaninshi Concubine Oolong from this year. It's available. It was harvested on May the 9th, on Mother's Day, so it's easy to remember. Again, this year, thanks to the drought, it was quite dry, and therefore maybe the how you say, the roasting is a little bit lighter than before. Oxidation is high, so it's very fruity, and this on this plantation, why is it a little bit more expensive? It's because the management is doing a great job at keeping pesticides and also fertilizers to a minimum, and therefore the taste is really very, very clean. And and this is also a plus, an advantage when you are making concubine oolong, because you want the tea acids to come and bite the leaves, and this adds then this special honey fragrance that you find in this tea and also in the Oriental Beauty that I've introduced before. Okay, I propose that I drink one of these teas with you. Please, I have not seen any comment yet. If you wish that I taste one of these teas in particular, I will do so. Since it's already past time, I'm saying goodbye to people who are on YouTube. See you next week.